Welcome back to the channel. We kind of jumped into some work here that we really didn't have planned. I was originally coming down here to the barn to look at the front end on the 986 and possibly see if there's any parts I need to get ordered. I know there's definitely some wear, some play, and just kind of looking. I jacked the front end up and we started taking some stuff apart. So I figured I better get the camera on and get some of this recorded. So let me show you what we got. I was impressed by my little floor jack here. I was able to lift the front of this up, but it seemed to do okay. Before I actually do any work under it, I'll be getting jack stands, but it's a little 3.5 ton jack and we got the front end lifted up. So what we've noticed right off the bat, all I've done is kind of move the wheels around a little bit. Let me get over here to where you can see. Right on top of the cylinder, I think those are called trunnions, but it's gonna be real hard to see on the camera. But either way, the top, there's a bolt on top there, and I guess there's a bushing, and then the same thing on the bottom. If I can get under here, you see the bolt and the bushing. Those definitely have some play in them. On the end of the hydraulic cylinder here, this ball joint or tie rod end, whatever you want to call it, that has a little play in it. The tie rod ends themselves, this outer, and there's two inners. I don't see any play in those, but we're gonna, as we dive in this a little farther, we'll check those out. And then the same thing, this front pivot here, I didn't notice any play in it, but again, we'll probably pull that pin out of there and make sure. I think there are bushings inside that cast piece, so we'll see. Might be worthwhile just to get those replaced. We'll check it out though. So one thing I did notice on the right side, as you're sitting in the seat, looking forward on the right side, when I would rotate this tire, I would get, see, I'll have that play in the, we'll call the axle shaft. Now, obviously I have the pin out now, but there was a little bit of play in it when I was just looking around, and there's not on the left side. So I thought maybe these two bolts just weren't tight. And this has been painted since those bolts were last installed, or they were not removed since it's been painted, I should say. So they were painted in. So I couldn't get them to move. Eventually with the impact gun, I got that front one out, and then this back one, it's 3/4 of the way out, but my battery went dead. So we got those out. So I don't know, decided to pull that pin, the center pin out. I got it right here. As you can see, there is some wear on it, but not too bad. So I'm gonna clean this up. We'll verify this outer axle tube does not appear worn, and I do want to space this axle out. So even if that outermost hole on the inner axle tube is worn slightly, I'm not going to be too worried about that, because like I said, I want to space these tires out. Probably one hole width, which I think is 4 inches, but I got to double check that too. So now's gonna be a good time to do that while I'm kind of digging into this. I know on a video a while back I mentioned about getting into the transmission and getting some shift linkage taken care of, but I think I was looking at that. I can access the top of the range transmission just by kind of sneaking inside here. Let me get the camera in there. It's gonna be tough to see, but let me get a light. I can show you guys better. All right, so those levers you see, those wide flat plate coming down, that's the shift linkage for the range transmission. And then you can see that flat, there's like a ball joint there, and then a flat piece. That's all the shift linkage. So there is a little play in that. And I'm gonna see if I can't get that play, those little ball joints, get those replaced and get some of that play cleaned up. Because right now my plan for this next coming winter, the winter 2024 going into 2025, I believe I'm gonna split this tractor, replace the TA, and I have to pull the seat and the floor pan and everything to do that anyways. So instead of doing that twice, I think I'm just gonna wait and do the shift detents inside the range transmission all at that point. I believe it's the plan right now. I'm gonna think this through a little more and see, but I think that's the plan for now. At the same time I'm doing that, I'm gonna drain all the hydraulic transmission fluid out because I need to remove this shaft here that holds the lower 3-point arms on. It's a solid shaft from what I can tell that goes straight through the case. And as you can see, I'm getting some leakage out of there. I had a pan under this maybe an hour or so ago. And it varies sort of on outside temperature and some different things, how bad it leaks, but it leaks, that leaks pretty good. So again, I want to try and do all that work all at once. So I'm gonna try and get through this summer as is with the detents and the range transmission, this leak here in the back, and then we're gonna get these oil leaks fixed up here on the rear, range transmission detents replaced, and at least test the TA. I haven't done a lot of testing. I've done some adjustments, but it seems like it's out. So most likely replace the TA and take a good look at the clutch and see whether, while we have it split, whether that might as well replace it. I've never split a tractor before, so that'll be interesting. I got some videos I gotta watch and some learning to do. I've watched a video so far on replacing the detents and the range transmission. Seems pretty straightforward. There's a couple special tools needed, but nothing too crazy. So if I wasn't planning on really diving into this a little farther, I would be going ahead and taking care of that now, but we're gonna hold off on that. So right now though, for the front end, that's gonna be, I think, our next project we tackle. I'm gonna get those trunnion bushings for in here. Get 2 of those ordered, top and bottom. Like I said, I'm gonna look at this pin back here. And then there's I think they call it a ball pin or something right here that connects this casting to this right here. So I'm gonna look at those 2, that ball pin, this front pin. I'm gonna get the 2 trunnion bushings ordered for sure. And this tie rod end, or whatever you call it, that goes on the end of the hydraulic ram. And then I might go ahead and order bearings, bushings, whatever is in these, I don't know what you call it, spindle tube maybe? I'm gonna probably go ahead and order those. I did previously, last year, I took this top spindle nut off. There was just a slight bit of movement between this arm and the spindle. So I know you can order these arms with undersize. I think it's like a 30 thousandths under splined bore, in case your spindles are worn. So I should probably take another look at this, see how badly worn this is or if it's worn, and then decide whether I need to order a new arm for this. The other side, the left side, seemed pretty tight, but I'd like to get into this front end once and not just do some of it. I'd like to do everything that's needed. So I don't want to do some now and then next year I have to get back into it. I also don't want to have to just go through and replace absolutely everything. Like if tie rod ends seem like they're in good shape, I'd like to let those go. But again, I only want to get into this once, so we're going to be looking at things pretty in depth, making sure everything's good. I think we'll end up stopping this video here. I kind of talked a lot longer than I expected. I guess this will be an introduction for the front end work we're going to do, going through the steering, getting it cleaned up. So hopefully you guys are going to be interested in this. We'll probably do a 2-part, I guess. This video and then one more. I'll get some parts ordered and get it torn down and then back together. Be a second part. But thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like, subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video.